The Book of Boba Fett, Season 1, Episode 3, The Streets of Mos Espa. I'm gonna do something a little different here. I'm not gonna beat for beat, point for point, go through the story. I'm just gonna tell you what I liked, what I didn't really care for. So there's gonna probably be a lot of rambling. I apologize. One of my favorite things about kind of seeing Fett in this leadership role, and it continues into this episode even more so, is how through his age, I suppose, through his experience, he's acquired wisdom, he's acquired leadership qualities. He's seen how things have been done in the past, how working for slime balls or whatever he says doesn't always work out for you. How price gouging in a corrupt town forces the average citizen into desperate measures. He has seen how things have been ran. And through his experience, through his acquired mature wisdom, he's attempting to change things. Now, some people might say that's a lighter side of Fett. I don't know, maybe the lighter side of Fett was the childhood, the Clone Wars Boba Fett that we saw. I think this is a wisdom having Fett. I thoroughly enjoy the depiction of Boba Fett in this show. I really dig it. I also hope that more Star Wars shows, that the future Star Wars shows that we have, kind of do what the Book of Boba Fett is doing in terms of smaller scale stories, hyper-focused on a region, on an area. Not everything needs to have these galaxy-wide consequences, right? Not everything needs to be world-ending, galaxy-ending, the big bad on the hill. I like these small-scale stories that kind of are hyper-focused. I want more of that. So more back to tank flashbacks, we see that Boba Fett has some father issues. I guess maybe Jango wasn't always around. That is something that is kind of gnawing at him, eating away at him, I suppose. And then we see that his time with the Tusken Raiders, at least physically, is done. The entire tribe that he kind of palled around with for the past 2 episodes in these flashbacks, they've been completely eradicated. Now, I don't know if somebody escaped and we'll see them again, but I doubt it. Yeah, the tribe that he's been palling around with is gone now. Their homes have been burned. There is no one around. All the Banthas are dead. He was not there to help protect these people. And as I said earlier, all of these flashbacks, all of these decisions, all of this mature wisdom that has grown in him as an older Fett, this only compounds on it. An event like this is going to turn him into even more of a protector, I suppose, being more protective of those around him, which I assume will eventually branch out into the entire crime family. We'll see how that goes. The cyberpunk kids, let me know what you guys think of them in the comment section below. I like them as an idea. We'll have to see how they play out, but I like the idea of having these young kids on the streets of Mos Espa with no prospects, no future, no work. They're resorting to thievery. When there's nothing for the youth in a city or even a nation on the horizon to look forward to a future that they can aspire to, this is kind of what they become, When the world around them is corrupt, when they keep getting screwed over and over again, this is what they resort to. I like them as a concept. We'll see how they play out as the episodes go on, but I do like how they're kind of the in the street muscle, the eyes and ears of Boba Fett right now. They're not big and strong and swinging around gaffy sticks. They're kind of clever, scrappy kids with shiny bikes like American graffiti. And that's one of the first thoughts that I had. I thought, wow, these cyberpunk kids, or whatever the hell they're going to be called, they seem like an idea that would be cooked up by George Lucas in a Star Wars show or a Star Wars movie, doesn't it? I mean, that's what they feel like to me. It feels like something that would have been in the prequels, for example, like these shiny motorcycles racing around the streets. Seem like a very George Lucas-y idea. So Boba Fett is kind of making friends with previous, I guess you would call them enemies in this episode. Black Chrysanthemum comes to assassinate him, attempts to assassinate him while he's in the bacta tank. In the end of this episode, he lets him go. He realizes that, he's just kind of a pawn. Black Chrysanthemum was hired by the Hutts, and now they want nothing to do with him. They told Boba Fett to just sell the Wookiee back into the Gladiator, whatever. Sell them to the Gladiator Guild or something like that. So he lets him go. He's making friends. All these people are getting screwed over and he's going to possibly attempt to, at least maybe for convenience, be their temporary savior, I suppose. Get on their good side, right? So now he's got the cyberpunk kids, as I'm calling them. He's got Black Chrysanthemum, and also it seems as though he has the right-hand man of the mayor. He's told that the mayor is gone, and now he's working for the Pikes. So maybe this guy is going to be another set of eyes and ears for Boba Fett. Who knows? But he's slowly but surely becoming friendly, becoming allies with the common people, the downtrodden, your everyday citizen. And I think that's what obviously sets Boba Fett apart relative to, let's say, a Jabba the Hutt, who obviously liked the lavish things. And as we see in this episode, Boba Fett says, no more food. He doesn't want to be carried on a litter. He doesn't want the lavish things. He is a common man. And he's using that common man attitude, maybe not intentionally, not in any kind of scheming way, but to his advantage. He's one of the people, right? And I really like that about the way Boba Fett is depicted in this show so far. So there's a couple fun little lore things that happen in this episode. We find out through a little bit of dialogue, and I'm curious if this is a Legends thing. It seems like it would be. But we find out that Tatooine was once covered in water. We find that out at the beginning of this episode. Kind of interesting. I want to look into that. And we also find out, and this also seems like it could be a Legends thing, but I got to do a little bit of research. We find out that Rancors are quite peaceful until they're threatened. The first human that they see imprints on them. We get some Rancor lore. They're kind of sweet unless they're pissed off. And they almost seem like zoo animals, right? Danny Trejo is in this episode. He's the new Rancor keeper. That came out of nowhere. But Danny Trejo, it kind of describes a Rancor as almost like a zoo animal, or like a whale or a dolphin at SeaWorld. This particular Rancor is depressed, and animals in captivity often show signs of depression. It's a really interesting addition to kind of Rancor lore. You know, what once thought of as just kind of these beasts, kind of now have, and again, this is probably... I'm sure this is a Legends thing that's being brought over. It definitely seems like it is. If I'm wrong, I'd be surprised. But now we kind of view them a little differently, you know? Kind of interesting. So this particular Rancor is gifted to Boba Fett by the twins, by the Hutts. They're going back to Hutta because they don't want any war. They say it's bad for business, but Boba Fett doesn't believe them. There's something fishy going on here. It's obvious to Boba Fett, and I think it's obvious to the audience as well. But yeah, Boba Fett is kind of setting up the chess pieces over the past 3 episodes. But he's setting up the chess pieces just by kind of being a reasonable leader, just by being a little empathetic, just by giving employ to those who have not, just by virtue of having a little bit of honor and mature leadership skills. He is placing his chess pieces on the board, preparing for a major war with the Pikes. And that's what's coming, a major war with the Pikes. I'm sure various houses, various clans are going to align themselves with either Fett or the Pikes, or maybe perhaps even the Hutts, and it's going to be an all-out street war for the soul of Mos Espa, for the soul of Tatooine. And I'm excited to see how that plays out. So overall, I like this episode. There's something about the filming style of Boba Fett, this show, that feels very sterile to me. And I don't know if it's because of that rear projection technology or the various digital effects that we see, but there's something that I can't put my finger on that feels a little off about the production of the Book of Boba Fett. Am I the only one that thinks that? And that's my biggest complaint about the show. It's not necessarily where the story's going or the characters and things like that. I generally like that and I want to see more, but the thing that makes me kind of, I don't know, feel a little weird about the show is the way sometimes it's shot, or the digital effects. It feels very off to me very frequently, and I don't know how to articulate that. Somebody do it for me, damn it. What did you guys think of this episode? Let me know in the comment section below. The things that I'm most excited to see is who and what these cyberpunk speeder bike kids are, and also what happens to the speeder bike gang that killed Boba Fett's Tusken Raider buddies. Oh, and I'm wondering if So we see the speeder bike gang's kind of logo, I guess you would call it, spray painted or whatever on some of the Tusken Raider tents and whatnot. We are led to believe that they did this, right? The speeder bike gang killed the Tusken Raiders. In my brain, I'm thinking that somebody else did it and they want us to think that the speeder bike gang did it. I mean, perhaps it was the Pikes, right? It could be any number of organizations or on Tatooine that did this. But if I had to guess, I would say that the speeder bike gang didn't do this. Somebody is trying to trick Boba Fett into thinking they did this. And if I had to guess, it was the Pikes. But, that's my prediction. We'll see. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. I feel like I just rambled for like 15 minutes without saying much at all. I enjoyed the episode. The show's fun so far, man. On to the next episode. HelloGreedo, out.